Welcome to Everyday an Adventure. Today we're going to be doing a super budget paint job on my 1967 International Lodestar, and also we're going to be replacing the headlights with these very cheap but also nice LEDs. So for the paint job, I'm just going to be wiping it down with some Scotch-Brite, some wetted up Scotch-Brite to knock the dust off of it and give the paint something to stick to. This isn't the way you should do it. It's not a professional paint job. This is just a cheap, quick, dirty way to do it. And I'm just going to be using rattle cans. So let's get into it. After I took the bed off, I just couldn't deal with this green-yellow like highlighter paint anymore, and had to do something different. And I've painted another truck, a Nissan that I had, up as a kind of a tribute to the Far Cry 4 Technicals, and that turned out really good in this paint, so that's what I'm going to go for. And like I said, this isn't the proper way to do it. It's just the way I'm doing it because I want to get the color changed quickly. And right now, with it being as cold as it is, if I ruin the paint job out of a paint gun, that would suck. So I'd rather, while painting in the cold like this, paint with some super cheap paint, and then when it's time I'll do some body work on this guy and get it actually cleaned up like it's supposed to be, and shot a little bit more professionally. The only bummer about doing the paint job is it's going to take off this the fire rescue namesake that's on the truck, so we're going to have to come up with a new name for this truck. And the paint that's on here was in pretty piss poor shape anyway, so I think this may have been rattle can already. So any of these spots that are flaking off to the old red, I'm just going to try and kind of dig in as hard as I can. These turn signals are, I'm just going to go ahead and remove them. My new headlights have turn signals built in. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove them, remove the wiring, and then clean under them and paint it with the hole out there. Always remember to save your hardware on stuff that you're just going to throw away. We've got spares if you ever need some at pinch. Or just drop it on the ground. Snip that off with the Leatherman, and then potentially set these off to the side to use on a future project. Wire back through, and peel the gasket off. The gasket's going to go with the light. Okay, so now we're going to work on removing the all-wheel drive emblem, and that's just 2 nuts on the back. Good, I found it. Awesome. And that'll just pop out. Scrub under there. Just trying to flake off some of this yellow clean under here. Kind of rinse it off. after this dries, I'll hit it with a tack cloth, just so, you know, if there's any more hairs or dirt, they can come off. Now I'm going to put these little nut wheels back on so I don't lose them like I just lost that one. And these are like, I don't know, super coarse thread, like quarter turn. I don't know what color I plan on doing these. I think the all-wheel drive ones might match the because on international trucks this era, this section, this and the grill were a different color than the body. They usually didn't match, and I was thinking something like a battleship gray on that. And then I'm just going to set these in my toolbox. Lose them. It's not warm today. It's about 40 degrees. Like I said, it's so cold that that's why I didn't want to throw a real paint job on it. This is just going to be change the color to a quick light. I should clean those up while I'm at it. This is the color I'm going with. It's called Satin Lagoon. It's just Rust-Oleum, just cheap paint. And today we're going to be doing the door and fender. That way I have a little bit of daylight left over to do my headlights. So let's get started. as you can see, we've got this portion of the truck done. So that's most of this fender, the driver door, this quarter in here, part of this corner, and the mirror bracketry for this side. These mirrors are going to be probably like Battleship Gray. I think I'm going to do Battleship Gray for the grill, and then the bed is going to be it's going to be this cheapy spray-on bed liner, along with the steps. As you can see, I didn't mask any of the things that were black because they're going to be repainted soon to darken it back up. This color will come out a lot lighter over the next few days. I'm actually really surprised at how well it went on. I'm not seeing a lot of, in person, I'm not seeing a lot of tiger striping. As you can see, there's a whole lot of more body damage than I expected or could even see with the yellow paint. The yellow apparently hid the imperfections pretty well. That and probably the dirt didn't hurt. I'll still end up doing the door jams for when you can close it, and I'll be doing the interior as well. I may do the interior on a separate video, but I think this video is going to cover the paint for the whole truck, because there's no point releasing another video doing the exact same thing for the rest of it. But I will do a reveal video once it's completely painted. Now we're going to move on to the headlights real quick, and now we're going to move on to the headlights real quick, and then that should be it for today, I think. Now, as you can see, the light plugged right into the original wiring. These two wires are for the turn signal built in and the daytime running lights. So in order to make that work, I'm going to have to drill a hole in here and then run my turn signal wire through it, and then also these are my daytime running lights, and I'm going to have to wire those into the headlight bucket as well. So I'm going to go grab a drill bit. Okay, so this is the factory installation that came on this single wire that went to my daytime running lights, and I'm going to try and cut the insulation off so I can run it through that hole along with these two wires. So I'll cut it, feed the wire, this wire into this wire, and then feed that through the hole. try and stretch it out while I kind of saw through there with the serrations on my knife. Make sure that's all good. And then here's that. So I'm going to run both of these wires and see if I can poke that through. I may not be able to poke this into the hole. Okay. All right, now that I got that fed through, I'm just going to feed the wires through it. And oh, both of these wires are black, so I need to do something to mark which is my turn signal light before I get both of them through. So I'm just going to put a little piece of masking tape on my turn signal wire so I know which is which, and then I'm going to feed this right on through there, if I can. I do think that might be a little too tight to feed both in. And you know what? I actually need to trim this. So I'm going to trim this up to there, and then try and feed it through like that. And I'll go first with this one, just because it was like the difficult one. Well, that was dumb, because now I've got to feed the... Okay, good. Just enough masking tape on it to... Okay. All right. So now we've got protection for this wire and this wire coming into this housing. And the hole on the bottom, I drilled it first, not realizing that that was the dumbest place to put it. Can serve as a moisture drain, I guess. Okay. So according to my handy diagram here, the red light, or the red wire, is for my driver lights, and the green wire is my turn signals. And so I don't have any spade connectors, but I do have cheap Walmart crimps, some heat shrink to go over them, and a torch. So that's how we're going to keep this whole unit watertight. And can't find my wire tool, so I'm just going to use my Leatherman today. Okay. Oh. These wires are... This one is double insulated. Excellent. And I'm just going to come back here and try and there we go. And maybe with some luck, or I could just use the pliers that I have in my hands. Okay, so I may be able to uncrimp this, or just cut it, I guess. I'm just going to cut it as short as I can to the spade connector, just like that. Back here. Not damage the wire. I'll pull that off. Oh, no wonder why I couldn't get that crimp off. It was soldered. I should do the same, but I'm too lazy for that. Now, these cheap crimps are insulated, so maybe I could just put the cheap crimp on and crimp it, but we'll see. I am lazy, so maybe. And yes, I know this is the wire cutting portion, and that's exactly what happens when you use the wire cutters. I should really find my wire tool for this. In fact, I think I'm going to. Okay, so I couldn't find my wire tool. Probably need to buy a new one. And so here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm going to slide some heat shrink over my wire here, and then I'm going to spin the wires together, pull the heat shrink up, and then shrink it instead of using a crimp. These crimps suck anyway. So I'm gonna find something that's gonna work here. Something that I can maybe get over that insulation. Nope. I'm probably gonna have to cut back the insulation. Not the insulation, like the wire insulation, but that right there. Make sure the wire's still in good shape. And I'm going to take this and just slide it on. Take the fatter end and then just slide it on back. A little bit further than that. A little bit further than that. Okay, maybe that'll work. And then myself enough wire to actually work with here. The same on this little bitty wire. Get it past the solder. Twist them together. Maybe split that apart and then twist it in with this other wire. That way it actually holds. I hate doing this instead of using crimps, but I don't think my hydraulic crimper will like those cheapo crimps very much. I'll just twist these together with some pliers here. And I know once you fold this wire back like this, it's going to be a weak spot, but maybe we can just live with that. Who needs turn signals anyway, huh? Okay. That's still good and connected. So, just gonna fire up the torch and apply a little heat. Make sure when you're doing this to breathe in all them fantastic plastic and rubber fumes. I'm sure it's good for your lungs. I'm just going to take and do the same thing with this green wire here. Just try and cut it just as close as I can to the crimp. And cut it fairly long down here. If I can actually cut it. There we go. Okay, and it's going to be the same thing, I think, on this whole deal. In fact, I feel like that insulation is awful thick. So that may be the same stuff as the other wire. Apparently not. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to kind of split the wire down the middle. Give it some strands on either side of that. Oh, well, shoot, first I probably ought to put a piece of this got stuff on there. Okay, well, that should work anyway. I'll just part it down the middle like a 1990s haircut. And fold this guy in here. Then Try and get them lined up sort of straight here. And then just kind of twist all this mass together. Pull that back a bit. So you got clearance. And slide this heat shrink tubing back down. And hit it with your torch again. This is just cheap heat shrink tubing that I got on Amazon. But it doesn't matter how cheap it is, it'll still burn you on top. Just trying to make sure the end is all closed up. The important part's done there. So we're going to stuff this all back into the housing if I can fit all the new wiring and the like. Luckily, these lights are shallow compared to their 1960s counterpart, and they fit right in the housing, which is awesome. Okay, so we're going to put our bezel back on here. Make sure all my holes are lined up. Yep. And then try and put these little bitty screws in without losing them. Get one started without driving it all the way home. And then just keep doing that. That way if you have to clock it around a bit, you can without having it too tight to move the housing around. Okay. Alright, try and clean some of this gunk off of here. Okay, now I have my chrome bezel to put it around it. And this just hangs with the one screw up top, and it clips into place on this, wait, no, it clips into place up top. I'm just dumb. Clips into place up top and slides in. Just slides in. You know, when you hit it, it slides in. It's okay. Just gotta make sure I got the clearance everywhere here, where it's supposed to be. Tap it in. I know the hole's lined up, so line the screw up with the hole, with it pressed in like that. And maybe it wasn't quite lined up, I don't know. Okay, and that one is done. And just to test it, I'm going to go ahead and open the door here, turn the headlights on. New, old. And these are pretty dull. My battery's low. There's my daytime running lights. They got the wiring diagram backwards, I bet. They sure did. That is, unless I'm dumb. It says turn signals are on the green wire. Awesome. So, that should be the daytime running lights. And that should be my turn signals. So I'm going to stop filming and then, you know, rewire that. Probably even lazier than before, and then get the other side done, and then I'll hook a nice hot battery up to it and show you what they look like in the dark. Well, I suppose this should serve as a reminder to myself and maybe to others that maybe before we finish putting the finishing touches on things. Oh no. No, hopefully that's pretty close to where it was. That's my headlight adjuster. This is the bezel screw. I should have checked the wiring before I put it back together. That's my bad. But, you know, this ain't my day job. Not yet, anyway. Maybe someday. Okay. I just don't understand. Alright, well, it's a lot darker out here, so. Driving lights. Headlights. Turn signal. Oh, those are very bright. And brights. Cool, I'm pretty happy with that. Well, maybe the camera can't see it super well, but yeah, it's just kind of blown out on the camera, huh? But in person, you can see the different segments and the rings around the lights. Yeah, on camera, you can't see the fact that those are rings.